As part of government's efforts to bring its service to its citizens, a massive outreach exercise was held at the Square of the Revolution on Wednesday, March 27, where over 22 government ministries and agencies showed up and assisted members of the public. This week, our In-Depth takes a look at the outreach and the responses of the people.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
The coalition government has determined its unwavering position to address the issues of all Guyana's citizens. On Wednesday, March 27th, the government met with the citizens of Georgetown. The turnout, as was expected, was overwhelming. Hundreds of Guyanese turned out to meet with the various ministers and agencies' head to air their concerns and have them addressed. Sandra Mars, originally from Linden, lost part of her left foot as a child. She, however, was able to find work as an adult and eventually was able to build her own home in Parfit Harmony, West Bank, Demerara. However, her home remains unfinished. She was promised assistance before 2015 to complete her home. However, none was given. By 2017, she lost her right leg. She is now wheelchair-bound. Her story of resilience took her to the Square of the Revolution on Wednesday.
But this now is an opportunity for me. I hear about this and I come and I meet with Mr. Horman, and
What did Mr. Harmon promise you?
Well, they promised me that they're going to finish the house.
Okay, how do you feel about that?
You know, when you grow up, you want to get married, and the next thing you need is a roof over your head. I'd be the happiest woman on the face of the earth if I could get my own home, you know? That's going in my own home. This is from there.
So how do you feel about this outreach and being able to meet?
The outreach is very, very, very good. It's a very good, whosoever think about it. It was very good because they have a lot of people. They have a lot of people that they don't know where to go, who to speak to, right? Because I've been a lot of places, right? I even have a letter for housing, right? But the program that they're going through it finished, right? So no, they didn't turn me down. They tell me that when I have another, and I don't know this when, but I need help now. Me want next year, so this here is good.
Then there was Aftab Johur, a resident of Wakenham. His environment issues was addressed by Minister of State Joseph Harmon and the Environmental Protection Agency.
I woke up early this morning at 5 and I wanted to desperately see Mr. Harmon especially.
And did you get your issue resolved?
Oh, he handled it very expeditiously. And the workers here at his office they were very cordial and courteous. And that is very, very commendable.
And do you mind just asking what your issue was?
I had a problem with EPA. They were reluctant to address the matter. Now I was told by Friday everything would be okay on the island. I had breathing problem because of a gentleman. He was burning metals to make pots, and he has no official document. He's a fraud, and he's not working under the law of Guyana and impairing the health of other individuals in the surroundings. I was promised by the senior environmental officer that everything would be tackled on Friday, God spare life.
As the day progressed, Guyanese from all corners of the country were having their issues addressed. The numbers kept building and the masses were satisfied.
I already just need to find out about small business, so that's why I'm here. That's the first booth I visited from here. So I'm just going around to see what else is interesting.
This is good, and the crowd is quite sizable. For the short time the advertisements have been going. So I think they're on the right path, and they should continue to do this all over, not only here in Georgetown.
Over at the Ministry of Natural Resources, matters of mining and land ownership took center stage. Prince Bowman from the west coast of Berbice traveled to the capital city to have his matter heard by Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman. Bowman had purchased 20 mining claims. However, while trying to get a transfer of ownership, he was challenged by the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission. In two separate court matters involving the GMC, Bowman has been successful. On Wednesday, he needed the minister's help in completing the matter.
Approximately about 13 years ago, and I'm in possession of this property. I was working on this property ever since before I bought this property. Last January, the GGMC attempted to take them away from me, and I filed a court proceedings which result to victory twice. The GGMC take me back to court. I won them.
Non-governmental organizations also took time to meet with the minister.
Well, as a women group, we're looking to have some land in closed area. And we thought we should come to minister so that we could expedite this.
I believe it's a good initiative, and I believe the country, according to the Constitution, it said that you must run the country with consultation with the people. And I think the idea about coming out here is a part of that.
As our team moved from booth to booth, many Guyanese were happy with the initiative, even calling for it to be taken to other parts of the country.
The interaction was great. I mean, I felt good because it's not like, well, when I go to his office and I have to make an appointment and I have to wait, or he run out to some meeting. I mean, the response was real great. I very much appreciate it. We came with our concern, short and sweet, get over it and done.
I believe it's something good, and I'm looking forward for all what take place here. People could benefit from it and people could be able to smile.
It was interesting that we also met two religious leaders who have been seeking out ways for the church to work with this administration to meet the needs of especially the youth. They were overly satisfied with the positive response from the government officials in this regard.
I said I would take a walk just to see what is going on, and at the same time try to see what help, or how can the church partner with a government institution. I like the words from the budget. From the budget theme, empowering people, transforming lives. And I think that the church uses those words because it transforms you, the gospel transforms you.
Well, I've been listening to the budget and I've recognized that the government has interest in getting young people on board with this technological age. My real concern was how can the church and government partner in order to get young people interested in this type of this mode of technology. I did get a favorable response from the minister, and I'm hoping that as soon as I meet with the vestry of my church that we'll be able to have an ICT hub at our church, which would cater for the community and not just church members.
InfoHub was touched by the story of a Grenadian man who has been married to a Guyanese woman for a number of years. Hearing of the government outreach, he found his way to the Square of the Revolution to continue the process of obtaining his citizenship here.
Citizens were in high spirits as they were able to access all services relating to the issuance of birth certificates, passports, and naturalization documents. We met with Grenadian Allison James, one of the many persons who seized the opportunity to have his issues addressed. James said that he has been in Guyana for a while now and will love to make this country his home.
I just recently married to a Guyanese lady, and I love Guyana very much. And I heard the government have some programs, so I came in this morning, and the service was very quick and efficient, and I appreciate that. And I get all the documents that I have to follow to get my citizenship to become Guyanese nationals. So thank you, and thank to the government also.
Other persons said they were grateful for the space to access relief. Clifton Keynes said that he was out there to get his daughter's birth certificate. He said the service was efficient and that he looks forward to optimum results.
Because I registered my daughter since her birth, well, I never received her birth paper, but like I said first, I'm open to the service now, and I pray that indeed this initiative would produce results and would cause people like me and so on to trust the government a little bit more, you know.
Another area of service that was easily accessed was the Agriculture Ministry and its agencies. We found that farmers in the Yarok Harbor area can look forward to works being done in their community that will aid in the supply of water.
The whole purpose of the exercise is to bring government to the people, rather than having the people firstly come and rap on government's door for assistance. We have found it very useful here because what we have done is to bring all our departments, and the Ministry of Agriculture has a large number of departments. Problems are being solved. So in a nutshell, we think the exercise has been worthwhile. We certainly would like, as a ministry and as a government, to replicate it elsewhere, and we think only good can come of it.
Colwyn King represented the farmers.
We were here to really address the issue of doing agriculture with inadequate water. So we are asking the minister if he can intervene in the either reduction of the water costs or getting a means if our water can be supplied. And so there's a promise that we are holding to, that they will be there next Wednesday to look at the farming structure and to see what means they can provide water for us.
I'm a farmer. I farm in Boxon there. We plant all sorts of things, all sorts of catch crop. We plant pumpkin, we plant watermelon, we plant balanje, pepper, plant permanent crop like Saijan, mango, coconuts, soursop, cherries, and all these things we plant, right? Because we're looking for feed the community. I praise God today that the government overlooked certain things, right? And we came out here as Guyanese to deliver the problem. And so far, at least, we're getting a little assistance.
While the more than 22 booths were overflowing with citizens, what was obvious was the overwhelming turnout at the Ministry of Communities Central Housing and Planning Authority. The government was forced to extend the service to Thursday, a move that was welcomed by all.
I get a little good word. I speak with the Minister Armand, yesterday, and he gave me a referral to come this morning. And I came this morning. So far, they was very helpful. They noticed my situation, take me up front. I get to speak to the representative. They say, they take my numbers, take my letter. When I applied since 2009. And they say they're going to give me a call as soon as I start doing what I got to do in vigilance.
I wait long, too long, very long. I'm hungry. But I'm happy that I finally turned up again today and got through. Thank God.
So I'm very thankful that they had a repeat, I got to say, because I would not have gotten through because there were so many people here yesterday, right? So I'm very thankful that I'm here today and I could have get something, some kind of assistance today done for me.
It's good because, you know, a lot of people need houses, a lot of people need to build, and then, you know, I've applied for this when I had young kids grow up, till even one of my sons even applied for his own stuff. So, you know, I think it's a good initiative because people need to get themselves in order where housing is concerned. And
I feel so nice because I'm waiting how much years now and I'm trying to get through. So I thank God and thank the government that he provide my land.
So tell me about where you get this land?
Victoria. Yeah.
So all you got to do now is just build?
Build. Pay and build. Yes.
So you live in Victoria? Where do you live in?
Lamal Park. Yeah, in my sister-in-law's house. And thank God, I have my own now.
We applied in 2017. We applied for a land for us. At the time, they didn't have any land.
So they said we tried applying for the duplex, but we didn't get through that as well. So just now in there, they stated that there are lands available in Metamurzorg and Vigilance. So we stated for Vigilance, and we're waiting for a response. I think this is a good exercise. I think it's really helpful, and we're trusting that we get a good response.
Reports indicate that almost 80% of the persons who converged at the Square of the Revolution on Wednesday were seeking assistance from the Central Housing and Planning Authority. On-site minister within the Ministry of Communities with responsibility for housing, Valerie Adams Yearwood, said that the CHNPA has always been doing such outreaches.
We feel that this is a very good approach, and it gives the Guyanese citizens, particularly those of Region 4, an opportunity to hear more from us and be able to interact.
At the opening of the government outreach on Wednesday, Minister of State Joseph Harmon told the hundreds of citizens that government was prepared to meet with all Guyanese. He said that the event will be a continuous one.
So we've actually decided on this event. But just to let you know, because this broadcast will be going all across the country, that it's not going to be a one-off event. That we'll be going to various communities across this country to bring government service to the people. And this is a part of what we are doing in government.
Other ministers of government had much to say about the venture.
We have found it very useful here because what we have done is to bring all our departments. And the Ministry of Agriculture has a large number of departments. It's probably one of the bigger ministries, dealing with drainage, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, the National Agricultural Research Institute, deals with crops. We have the Guyana Livestock Development Authority, you have the Guyana Marketing Corporation, you have the Guyana School of Agriculture, you have the Guyana Rice Development Board. We didn't expect a large number of people in Georgetown to be approaching the Ministry of Agriculture. When you look around here, you see what's going on at the Central Housing and Planning Authority booth and what's happening in the Guyana Water booth. But we've had our fair share of people coming here. Surprisingly, very large numbers.
Most of the issues we would have considered, but some new ones are coming up. They're very easily addressable. Most of them is drainage, which we have a program for, roads, which we have a program for. So of course, GPL are doing their stuff in this airport as well. Everyone is doing their stuff, so I do think it's a very successful venture so far. No, well, I mean, I do this every Wednesday, but it is nice. It's easy, and it's glad to have all my staff around me. So it's a very, very good initiative.
As you know, some of the ministers have done this previously. There was a period where we kind of laxed. We do this in our offices quite often. I must admit that I've never really announced a public day, although I have people coming in and out. And so I think it's important because it gives everybody that may have a concern an opportunity to know that they can come and find us today. So it is very important to get the feedback.
I was surprised to see so many people here so early. And in fact, in my booth, a lot of people are there asking, they have a lot of legal problems and they're trying to get to see me personally. But I have the staff there that they will take the information and give advice, etc. But it's very good. People getting a chance to be the Central Housing and Planning, which is opposite me. And a lot of other ministries, the NIS, as you see, they're well equipped in there with staff to answer the questions. That's important institutions. We don't want people to work and serve this country, and at the end of the day, when they retire, they can't get the just desert. So this is a good thing.
We always believe that community-based participation is integral and key for education, and so this provides a good opportunity for many persons who would not have taken the time to come to the ministry because they may not have had a really large issue. But the fact that they're out here to address some other area, they stop by and then they're able to provide us, with some ideas, with some suggestions, with opinions that we really value. So this has been a really good exercise for us in the ministry, and I look forward to perhaps having more of this.
The grand meeting at Durban Park was preceded by a different yet similar meeting 1 week earlier on Wednesday, March 20th. A citywide ministerial outreach was the highlight of government's operations. Ministers of the government spent time with community members of the 15 constituencies of Georgetown municipality. Let us take a look back at those engagements.
The government's continued efforts to meet with all citizens across the country went into full swing on Wednesday, March 20th. All ministers of government were part of the event. Minister of State Joseph Harmon and Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Valerie Garrido-Lowe visited the North and East La Penitence communities, where they spoke to and listened to the concerns of residents. High on residents' mind was the political situation, which was later quelled by the ruling of the appeal court on Friday, March 22.
The Constitution provides, as I said earlier, that there will always be a president. There will always be a government. And irrespective of what takes place, there is never going to be a gap or a lacuna in government. You always have to have a government. And so that all of the talks about, oh, government must resign, the president must go, chase them out. These are our foolish gabs. They're foolish. And it is important that we as right-thinking citizens understand that these things cannot and will not happen.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Greenidge met with residents of Constituency 3, East and West Campbellville. He addressed concerns about the political situation at the time and the December 21 motion case, which was before the Court of Appeal.
First, I was very scared. It makes me can't sleep at night, wondering what's going to happen. Remember, young, I never went through this, so I want to know what can be the next move.
Minister Greenidge encouraged citizens to continue their life as normal.
If you find that in your place of work or anywhere else, people come and try to encourage you not to work, let me just remind you of the following. If you're a government employee, you have a contract. The contract does not say that you will stop working because the PPP deems there to be a constitutional crisis.
Residents of Kingston were thrilled to meet with Minister of Agriculture Noel Holder and Minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure Annette Ferguson to hear of the infrastructural progress so far.
The ministers were joined by the Mayor of Georgetown, His Worship Ibrach Narain. Residents were happy to see their elected representatives and were informed of the numerous initiatives being undertaken by the government to address drainage, infrastructure and rates and taxes.
Since 2015, we haven't been seeing any flood or major floods in the community. From the time when we took government, I think it was just about a few weeks after Georgetown was inundated with water. But, you know, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, along with the Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Communities, and some other ministries, we formed that like an interagency task force to address the flooding issue here in Georgetown.
Community members expressed their joy at especially being able to meet Mayor Narain, who they said frequents the constituency.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Basil Williams and Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin dispelled the rhetoric being peddled by the opposition on matters surrounding the current political situation to residents of Alboystown and Charlestown.
Southern Georgetown constituency, Alboystown, Charlestown, home to over 7,000 residents, reaffirmed their confidence in the coalition government during the meeting. While Blossom Davis noted the importance of parents updating their children on the current state of affairs, Randolph Corbin told InfoHub that Charlestown residents have experienced unprecedented growth and development over the last 3 years.
This APNU government has been doing tremendous work in spite of the rhetoric, the gossip, the fake information. The streets now in Charlestown are well repaired, they are properly maintained. We have electricity on a constant basis. They are doing what they're supposed to do, and pound for pound, in 3 years, what I have seen is impossible
for ordinary government to do it. This APNU government got to be supernatural.
The Attorney General cited the transformation Guyana has experienced under the coalition government's short term in office.
President Granger has a vision for this country. I share his vision. And I think that with the course and trajectory that we've been on, once we get the chance to continue, Guyana will never be the same again.
Business Minister Dominic Gaskin reminded residents that GCOM is legally obligated to comprehensively update the official list of voters every 7 years, an exercise not done since 2008. Minister Gaskin also visited several businesses within the area to better understand their needs.
Over in Constituency 9, along Princess Norton and Durban Streets Lodge, Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman and Minister of Public Health Valda Lawrence conducted a walkabout exercise. Residents were eager to share with the ministers their concerns, particularly as it relates to development.
Residents acknowledge that there has been improvement, while the councillor for the area, Chanel Smith Daniels, advocated at the municipal level for attention in this area. After the walkabout, a brief meeting was held with residents of the constituency. Minister Trotman said he is aware that residents are in favor of government's push to have a sanitized list of eligible voters before going to the polls. This way, Minister Trotman said there will be free and fair elections.
And why you think all of a sudden, Jack, you're trying to pull? Because we put it in place that we'll have oil from this year in flowing. It will be the fastest turnaround of oil from discovery to production in any other part of the world. We made that possible. And so they don't want that oil to start flowing and the money flowing, because they know that the good life and the foundation we've put in place is going to come.
Minister of Public Health Valda Lawrence, who accompanied Minister Trotman, said that the APNU AFC government has been and continues to work for the people of Guyana. In the areas of health, she said that modern river ambulances have been provided to Oriala and Bartica, emphasizing that this has never been done in the past.
They don't have road. They have to travel on water to get there. But today, they have a river ambulance. Never heard of in the 23 years. And we didn't only do it for them. Remember those persons at Bartica too? Those miners and so coming out with injuries and so on. We need to get them to Georgetown. So we have a river ambulance there. And they are servicing all the areas in Region 10 on the river there. And they're also servicing Region 2.
Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjitan, addressing a meeting in Newtown Cay, clarified the legality of the government. He called on residents not to be fooled.
What they're utilizing now is by saying that when the 21st of March comes, this certain 90-day period will make the government illegal. Well, it is not going to make this government illegal, brothers and sisters. We are going to be purely legal. We will have all the powers of any government because we were duly elected.
Minister Ramjitan made it clear that the government will not bend to the will of the opposition for an early election because the leader of the opposition was desperate for power. The communities of Cummins Lodge and Seafield Sophia heard from Junior Minister of Finance Jaipal Sharma during the ministerial outreach. He promised the residents that they will see improvements in their communities.
We just given you the additional information to assure you that we continue to work for the people, for all of Guyana, as we are a government for all Guyanese. And we're here to bring the good life to every single Guyanese, not just the fire, but throughout the length and breadth of Guyana. And so there is a president and there is ministers of government. There's no constitutional crisis. Don't let anyone will trick you into believing there's a constitutional crisis.
Over in Constituency 13, East and West Rheinveld, Minister of Finance Winston Jordan urged residents to know their history since the next general and regional elections would be the mother of all elections. He went back to the night of December 21, 2018. According to him, the government was never defeated.
It was just, we got knocked down. We got knocked down. And the people who activated the sleeper thought they knocked us out. And for a while, the punch was heavy. So we got up and we slipped down and we, you know, groggy and thing. And they were watching on. And they said, you ain't gonna make it. But when they reached, referee reached 9, we hold on to the ropes. And he slapped me up on thing. He said, let me go again. And 3 months afterwards, when they thought they had us, they will learn about the coalition government.
Minister Jordan said evidence are right before the eyes of every Guyanese about the anguish the former administration put the country through. From the outright squandering of public funds to the abuse of power, to the blatant thieving of the country's resources, Minister Jordan said it is clear that the former government did not have the country's best interest at heart.
The coalition government has not and will never forget its citizens, and the administration continues to stand firmly with and for all Guyanese. This has been InfoHub in Depth. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.